Bear Cup. Parramatta, the holders as we go into this game. Tony Yates is the referee. He plays time on. Canterbury running towards the northern end. It wasn't a big kick-off by Ennis. And Kalis it is that takes it back. Nathan will play it 20 metres away from his own line, and Hayne is up in the first receiver position for Mateo to almost crack the line of Jamal Idris. And now Moy trundles ahead. Taken down by Andrew Ryan and David Stagg. This is Matthew Keating. And here is Daniel Mortimer skipping away, taking it deep into Canterbury territory. Explosive start by Parramatta. Hayne is up there, running off the ball there from Robson. Spins around, goes in, out, away, he's over. Oh, Jared Hayne has scored. It's the Hayne plane. Is it not? It's bigger than a jumbo and faster than a Concorde. That is supersonic Jared Hayne. What a start. Gobsmacked. Commentator sitting here, hardly able to utter a word.
Well, I'm just taking in the scenes here as the Parramatta flags blow in the grandstands and the crowd erupts with the most dynamic opening set of 6 to a game I've seen in some time, and finished off by this man, Jared Hayne. We have exhausted all superlatives, and for him to have a touch like that in the first minute of play and set this place alight is just phenomenal. I cannot believe what I have just seen. Jared Hayne. Wow.
Well, Gus, I've seen some great players in my time. I grew up watching Sterling and Kenny, Wally Lewis, Laurie Daly, Fittler, Langer, Thurston, Lockyer. This guy's got it all. Everything those guys have got, he's got it all.
And Luke Burt appropriately puts the icing on the cake. You've heard from Gus, you've heard from a rugby league legend. Here's another one, Brad Fittler sideline.
You know you're in trouble if Jared Hayne walks out and he starts punching his glutes, stepping off his left foot, bounces off Ennis. He turns on the afterburners. He can feel the plane coming on. The train's too slow.
Canterbury reenact what they did just a matter of 2 minutes ago.
Release, mate! Can you believe that? Can you believe that opening to the game?
I cannot. I came here hoping that it would be a sensational game, but I didn't think we would have the spectacular start that we've just had. It wouldn't matter whether it was Canterbury that did it either, but all the publicity leading into it. Jared Hayne, is he back? It took us 60 seconds to find out. Tahu almost gave himself up over there. Now Nathan Hindmarsh. Can you imagine the confidence these players in the other 12 jumpers and the 4 on the bench will derive from what we just saw from Jared Hayne? Luke Patton goes back. It was in the tackle about that far into the preliminary final last year when Nathan Kalis got accidental knees on Luke Patton, and that damaged the Canterbury hopes in that preliminary final. Played then by Bryson Goodwin, and here's Michael Ennis. Michael Ennis returning serve from the other end, and Hayne makes the tackle. It's a good one, a dummy half through to Barber, and Barber to Kumali, and Kumali gets it to Jamal Idris, back to the middle. The ball went away from Tandy, picked up by Goodwin. No knock on, he comes to Reddy. And Canterbury will play the ball 20 metres away from the Parramatta line. Ryan for Kamali, Kamali for Tandy. And he'll play the ball 15 metres away from the Parramatta line at the northern end. Last tackle, Kamali towards Luke Burt, and up they go, Steve Turner. He's able to get a ball away. Patton got it away, and it's come back now with Newman. Newman must be centimetres away.
Well, the Bulldogs fans over in that corner pretty much hopingly went up thinking that Newman has scored, but I don't think he's got the ball anywhere near down. From Turner to Patton, back to Newman, and some good Parramatta defence here scrambling in. And referee Tony Archer quick to make the decision that he's held up.
And it was Hayne that was underneath him. It was Hayne that saved the try.
Off the side.
Hey, Gus, you spoke before the game about the settling in period in rugby league and where it's gone to. Well, it's not here tonight.
No, they don't. They just come out and play, don't they? It's what they join in at the 25-minute mark.
This is Ben Smith playing it inside the 30-metre line. Moi and a shoulder from Idris. He's not satisfied with the first. He goes in and monsters over the top of Moi if that's possible. Now Hayne bullets the pass away to Tahu. Tahu goes over the top of Newman, turns the ball inside. Luke Burt can see the try line, gets the ball away to Hayne. Hayne's away again. No! Clear the tarmac, here he comes. He's using it again. Jared Hayne has scored again. Well, TAB Sportsback were betting $6, 2 tries or more. They just handed me that. I'm just handing it back to them. Too late, sorry.
Well, I tell you what happened here, Rabbits. The Bulldogs overcompensated because of what Jared Hayne did to them with the first try. You watch how the defence compresses around Jared Hayne when he first receives the ball, and then that allows him. Watch this, they're a little bit thin out on the edge, but they're virtually going to where Hayne is. See how they're condensed around Hayne now, and that allows him to get the long pass and give Tahu free rein. So Jared Hayne's first try gave space to these men on the outside. They didn't have much to contend with. Then they link up with Jared Hayne, who just takes it in for the second try of the match.
Unbelievable. Jared Hayne has scored at the first and the 6th minute. First try came in 45 seconds. His second try in 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And what about Tahu? He's left a footprint on the face of young Newman.
Give it a kick. Come on. Give it a kick.
2 tries in 6 minutes to Parramatta. 2 tries in 6 minutes to Jared Hayne. The first officially at the 45th second of the game. The second at the 5-minute mark and 45 seconds gone. And Luke Burt converts the try from exactly the same place. Parramatta, after 8 minutes, are leading 12-0.
Yeah, if you keep your eye on Jared Hayne during this play, just got the ability to command a Tahu out wide. Look at this after an athlete on the Kuno replay. Gets 2 defenders, puts Bird inside, and look at the man who started it and finished it. All aboard.
The question is, what do the Bulldogs defenders think now? If they give Hayne one-on-one coverage, he'll cut him to pieces. If they try to give him 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 to contain him, they open the way for others. They must be in a state of confusion now.
Here's Moi having a carry after Mateo played the ball. And Andrew Ryan and Ben Hannon put some numbers into the tackle. Now it's for Hindmarsh. And Nathan Hindmarsh is buckled over on his own 40-metre line by Michael Ennis and Andrew Ryan. Matthew Keating goes out and shows it and finishes up giving it to Mateo. Mateo looking to unload. He had Tahu outside him. But it's played by Mateo. Now it's back for Robson to put a kick in. The Patton watches like a hawk. And the time that he used up has seen him tackled inside his own 10-metre line.
David Middleton, our stats guru, is telling us that Parramatta had only scored 1 try in the first 10 minutes of a game all season. Once. This season they scored a try in the first 10 minutes. Tonight on their biggest night, 2 in 6 minutes.
Well, they've only scored the first try in a game. There's been 17 games for them. They've only been the first try scorer on 5 occasions. Here's a turnover from Canterbury. Ball picked up by Mortimer, and they're 20 metres away from the Canterbury line. As Reddy passes long, it's gone out there to the captain, Kalis. He got it back to Matthew Keating. He's able to pump it away. It's out to Robson. Now it's gone to Mateo. Mateo will get the ball away. Back to Robson. Now it's come back to Keating. Now it's back to Hindmarsh. Hindmarsh is looking for a gap, and he's taken the ball to ground 15 metres out from Canterbury's line. Played to Keating, given to Mortimer, and he decides to use the decoy runners and have a dig himself. Plays it back to Keating. Here's Hayne again. He goes short this time to Ben Smith. Ben Smith is held up in goal.
Third tackle held up.
Oh, that's disappointing because it was such a great play there from Jared Hayne, who made the effort to run from one side of the field down to the short blind side to make the extra man and put Smith into a lovely hole. That's beautiful ball playing from Jared Hayne. I think you're getting an example tonight of the role Jared Hayne wants to play in a football team.
So here's the ball fired away to Robson at second receiver. And he'll play the ball 10 metres away. On the fourth tackle for Parramatta, dummied there by Keating. It found Mortimer. It's gone to Hayne. Throws a long ball, and it's Inu. Krishnan Inu has scored. Parramatta's third try is on the board. Now I think it's only 10 minutes gone in the game.
Oh, stop the fight. Stop the fight. This is unfair.
Can you drag Jared Hayne off?
Well, this is unfair. Watch this again. The Bulldogs defence absolutely mesmerised by the fullback who gets the ball at first receiver. He's got all these options outside him. Gets it at second receiver now. All these options outside him. They don't know what to do. Bullet-like pass to Isnu. Open on the outside. Try number 3.
Have you ever seen anything like this? This game never ceases to stun me. But in Jared Hayne, I thought I'd seen everything that he had to offer. But he's opened the cupboard up, and there's a bit more there.
It's a big cupboard.
Welcome back to ANZ Stadium. And look, if you decided to make a cup of tea or get yourself a drink, and it took you 10 minutes to do that, well, Jared Hayne has scored twice, and Krishnan Inu has scored the other, and Hayne basically provided the pass that saw Inu's try scored. An amazing start as Burt misses the kick.
There's a freakish pass here by Jared Hayne. And if you watch it, he gets the ball off balance a bit behind him, and you have a look at his eyes. He's not even looking there in the Kuno replay, and that puts Morris in 2 minds, which puts Bryson Goodwin in 2 minds. But his ability not only to play square with his shoulders, but with his eyes. He attracts 2 defenders with his eyes. Absolute freakish.
Mateo, who's doing some good things down on that left side. Kalis is with the ball now.
You know, Raven, I used to coach rep sides, and Andrew Johns would be over in the corner trying to show blokes how to throw that pass without looking, and I'd say, get away from him. No one else can do it. Forget it. You're only going to confuse him. And here he is, Jared Hayne. That had Andrew Johns written all over it, that pass.
This is Ben Smith, 40 metres out from his own line. So it's gone to Nathan Hindmarsh now, and he runs into the shoulder of Ben Hannans, and he's put to ground with the assistance of Tandy, and the ball has gone away to Robson, and he kicks down the middle of the ground. And it's Steve Turner who's coming away. Outside the 10, he runs it out to the 20-metre line, but Kalis is there together with Robson, and they put him away, and Kamali goes short then to Bryson Goodwin. He was on the end of a tackle from Jared Hayne in that preliminary final that many thought might keep Hayne out of the grand final last year. It led to the 8-pointer, or the possible 8-point try. It was a preliminary final that had some high drama, to say the least. Played by Tandy. They've got a little roll going, the Bulldogs, and Ennis was tackled originally by Moi, and the tackle was sealed by Mateo. Now Kamali stabs it down in towards the 10-metre line, and Luke Burt brings it back towards Idris. Kamali leads the procession, as he always does, and makes that first tackle. Robson then for Tahu, and Tamana will play it on his own 20-metre line.
Now, 30 minutes into last week's game, and Parramatta trailed the Penrith Panthers 22-0. And you wondered, well, where are they? What are they doing? They got up to win that game, then they come out and explode out of the blocks like this. I can't believe what I've just seen.
Penalty goes to Parramatta, worsening the situation. I think it's against the tacklers for being there too long.
Andrew, you've played in a lot of sides. I've seen you do this to teams at times where you just come out and blow them away in the first 20 minutes. How hard is it mentally to be going so well after 15 minutes, to stay in the hustle and bustle of the game.
Well, mentally it's a big challenge because you start watching the scoreboard, you start looking at the points, and you start thinking about what you're doing after the game. So it's up to the senior players, Kalis, Hindmarsh, I suppose the foot soldiers, to keep these guys focused, especially Jared Hayne.
Keating goes to the short side. Ben Smith passes short, goes to Reddy, and Reddy is tackled. Reddy plays the ball under the tackle of Ben Barber. They go long and high to Keating and across to Mortimer. Now through. Robson has now found Mateo. Here's Hayne again. He comes to Kamali. He gets rid of Kamali. He comes back running along the 20-metre line. Gets rid of Andrew Ryan. He throws a dummy. He puts a left foot step, right foot step. He goes to the gap. He puts a flick pass out for Inu, but it goes astray.
No. Well, let's just give us your Benji Marshall impersonation now. You've done the Andrew Johns, you've done the Darren Lockyer, you've done the Brad Fittler. Now Jared Hayne will give us a Benji Marshall. Do you want it? No. Do you want it? No. Who's got it? Me or him? No. Do you want it? No. Who's got it? Me. I've still got it. Now I haven't. And unfortunately the pass doesn't go to hand. But he is absolutely mesmerising this opposition team. They don't know what to do with him.
And you know what you can't tell looking at? He is a big man, Jared Hayne. It's hard to tell looking at some players on TV how big they are. He's well over 6 feet and 100 kilos. You're laughing at.
No, our producer here just produced a sign saying man of the match with a question mark on it. He wanted me to vote now. A long way to go. Long way to go. The Bulldogs, if they can be next on the board, you just never know. I can't remember a period like this. I keep saying it, but it's just astonishing. What about that bit of play, Rabbits? You ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, I just saw it.
It's where it all starts.
I saw it about 30 seconds ago. I was just looking. That's Gavin Badger out there, is it not? I've got Ben Cummins listed, but it's Tony Archer and Gavin Badger. This is Tandy driving it to 15 metres out from the line. Now for Michael Ennis, a pick up, a scoop, and away to Ben Hannett. They'll score. Kamali! Brett Kamali has scored for Canterbury.
Yeah, nice play too. Nice play. You know, they've made a few little inroads around the play the ball area. Michael Ennis has nearly burst into the backfield a couple of times, and I guess they've been shell-shocked. But now they get a penalty and come on the attack straight away. And a nice line run here by Ben Hannon, who goes into a little half hole, pops it out the back to Kamali, who comes around, and that's an easy try for the Bulldogs. That'll give them incentive.
So 16 plays 4. We welcome our audiences overseas and to our viewers taking the match on replay through Fox Sports. Welcome back to ANZ Stadium. And as Parramatta might have run in 3 superb tries, Canterbury finally has responded with a try in the 17th minute to Brett Kamali playing his 301st game. First halfback to reach the 300 milestone. Goodwin, 12 in from touch, and it's just getting away. So let's go to Freddie on the sideline.
Thanks, Rabs. While everyone there is giving up on the Dogs, everyone's sitting in their seatbelts. This loyal little group of Bulldog supporters just sitting behind us. When everyone else is down, they're still up. The Bulldogs are still in this.
Thank you, Brad. He gets animated, doesn't he, during the football, Joey?
He's pumped.
Look at him. He loves it.
So Luke Bird it is that restarts, and Luke is not far adrift of the most number of tries for Parramatta. Scored by Brett Kenny. I think he's 4 in arrears at the moment, Luke Burt.
That try happened very easily, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
That'll give them a lot of encouragement, the Bulldogs, that if they can get their fair share of possession, there's some points on offer for them.
Yeah, it was poor marker play there from the try. And they're really changing angles around the ruck. The Bulldogs trying to go through the middle of the ruck as Barber goes back through the middle. See a weakness there in the Eels forwards.
65% of possession has been with Parramatta, and here's Stagg. Oh, he took a good tackle from Keating. The ball went down to the ground and picked up by Kamali. He plays the ball. Ennis is there to put a kick in from dummy half, realising that his main kicker was playing the ball. Now Hayne, outside the 10-metre line, runs it straight at Barber, and they're just inside the 20-metre line, their own end of the ground, Parramatta. Leading by 16-4. This match only a quarter of the way gone. 4 tries scored. Played by Inu, and ready it is. It's picked up and turned over by Canterbury's Ennis and Stagg. Then Keating goes to Justin Poor. So Daniel Anderson has pressed the recruitment button, the fresh recruitments. And Matthew Keating kicking out of dummy half, and it's a good kick way down into the corner. Time consuming. Patton comes back and goes to Goodwin, but the blue and gold line is down the ground. Making the tackle 10 metres away from the Canterbury line. Patton passes for Josh Morris, and Morris is able to make good metres. He's taken it out 25 away from his own line, finding an element of safety as Patton stumbles, gets away. He's got away from Nathan Hindmarsh. He's trying to get the ball back and across. Well, he did, but he gave it to Hindmarsh.
Nathan Hindmarsh. Nathan Hindmarsh. He missed the tackle, you know, and then chased the fullback down and takes the intercept. Look at him pointing at the rest of the defenders. I've got him. I've got ball. Nathan Hindmarsh.
That was the plan, Gus. Missed the tackle, sprint 50 metres and intercept the ball.
Is Ben Smith again. Ruggedly taking the ball towards halfway.
That was Nathan Hindmarsh, Roberts.
Really?
It was.
So they kick with Mortimer finding the line just inside the 20-metre line. TAB Sports Bet, an update there for you as Rod Reddy sits up in the coach's box above the head coach, Daniel Anderson. Parramatta started at $1.53. They're into $1.17 now. And the Dogs, they started $2.50. They're out to $4.50. The Dogs at one stage before that try got out to $8.50. 1-3-3-3-9-0 if you want to bet live on the game. 1-3-3-9-0. But please bet within your means. Gamble responsibly and have a bit of fun if you want to. Here is Kamori going short to Jamal Idris. And Parramatta with Mateo looking like he's keen to steal the ball, but he wouldn't be that stupid, not in a 3-man tackle. So here's Stagg. You would have heard Badger telling Felitti, I thought he was telling him to stay away and stay out of it, but he took a part in the tackle. And here's Hannett going ahead. It was a brave tackle there by Matthew Keating. He got some help from his second rower, Ben Smith. It's gone away now for Michael Hodgson. One of 3 Parramatta players, 3 or 4 Parramatta players, in fact, in the Canterbury squad that was originally chosen. Last tackle now for Brett Kamali. And Michael Ennis puts a kick in that goes angular across the ground and towards Inu, who finds Hayne. Hayne goes up the middle. Hayne comes to Kamali, stands in the tackle. He had a runner, but he didn't want to use him. And now he gets a penalty. And Kamali looks bewildered.
Well, Michael Ennis was a little confused there on tackle 5. Brett Kamali got tackled, which meant it was only up to Ennis to kick, and he came up with a poor one and a poor chase. He didn't come down the middle part of the field, and that gave Haynes some space, and it was up to Kamali, who had played the ball, to come up with the tackle. Well, just a little second effort there, and Jared Hayne falls over.
Tim Manor is also out there now. Both coaches replacing some of their front rowers. Ben Hammond is still out there. This is Justin Poor playing at 30 metres away from the opposition line. Out to Mortimer, and it's turned in for Ben Smith. He's got the fullback in front of him. Ryan behind him makes the tackle. Andrew Ryan making the tackle. Keating gives it on. Robson shows it. Then he decides to go ahead, Robson. And he's 3 metres away from the line. Play back to Matthew Keating. He throws a dummy to Poor. He comes out to Hayne on the right side. Ready, passes. Inu is over. Try number 2 for Krishnan Inu. And again, Jared Hayne plays a major part.
Well, the beauty of this pass from Jared Hayne is that he had the option to go long to Inu again, like he did with Inu's try earlier, but he realises it was up to Joel Reddy to deliver the final pass. And it's a really good ball player that knows he doesn't have to throw the absolute. He's just got to give it to someone else who can then set up the try. Brilliant play by the Eels.
Krishnan Inu, I don't know whether you saw that, the control some of these athletes have got over the football when under pressure, or even when they're just having a bit of fun. It's amazing stuff. He's put that ball down under extreme pressure, comes up, rolls it round the back of the rump, spins it round on the finger. Well, this is one of the players that Parramatta are going to be without next year. In fact, there's a bit of an exodus with Inu, the try scorer, brilliant athlete. He's off to the Warriors. Feliti Mateo will go with him. Nathan Kalis will retire. And Luke Burt from the sideline, and he's got it. I just thought it might have been short for a moment. 22-4. After 26 minutes, we're going through at a point per minute, Frederick.
Yeah, we talk about Hayne and what he's done for the side, but you look at the go forward there by Manor. March the ball 20 metres, then Paul marched the ball 20 metres. This enabled the ball to go forward and give Ben Smith room on the edge of the ruck. Then they got the Bulldogs on the back foot again. And then it was all down to the man, Jared Hayne, on the Kuno replay. Sums it up well. Numbers on the edge, and Inu. It was all from the go forward of Manor and Poor.
And Justin Poor is with the ball now. They play it on the 30-metre line, middle of the ground. Keating, a dummy half, doing a good job. And Mortimer gets the ball away to Ben Smith, who has been easily, I think, the best of their forwards. He really, really has been putting a dent in the defence. Ben Smith, of course, who's got the ability to play centre as well. Justin Poor then, big meters before he found the defence line. 5 tackles gone for Parramatta, and they're going out towards Tahu's side of the ground now. And the kick will find the line just in front of Luke Burt. He never gives up on a play, does he?
Well, I think, too, we've got to give a lot of credit to the Parramatta coach, Daniel Anderson, who drew his fair share of criticism a few weeks ago when he went to a post-match press conference and gave his best player a bit of a tickle-up on his form. And everyone jumped down Anderson's throat and said, you can't talk that like that about a player, particularly your best player. But Hayne's last month of football since that time has been absolutely scintillating. You know, sometimes even the best players need a little tickle up to get their minds on the job. And it certainly worked here with Jared Hayne.
I don't particularly want to scare Parramatta supporters, but in the Toyota Cup, the Bulldogs won 30-28. The Eels led 22-0 at half-time. And he's found a knock-on in there, Badger. It is Badger, isn't it? You know him personally.
It's the badge.
Hey, Michael,
the
there's
badge.
not only me out here.
That's him. You cannot mistake the badge.
He loves it.
What do you call him? Chicken leg?
No, that's chicken legs chicken.
Oh, chicken. Yeah, of course. Sorry, Gavin. So the scrum will be fed by Mortimer.
Heads up. In, lock spine, Luke.
His uncle, of course, and his dad,
In, boys. Luke, point
the other
back,
uncle,
mate. Put your head in.
famous members of the Canterbury side.
Out.
And here is Joel Reddy now. His dad sitting up in the coaching box alongside Daniel Anderson,
Yours, Arch,
one of the great dragons of all time. Here's Ben Smith again with a good charge.
Off the side, boys.
And Andrew Ryan is getting sick of the look of it. Now it's gone to the middle of the ground with Mortimer. Mortimer, he just got a little slap under the chin. Didn't stop him, though. Like a little rabbit, he got up and he plays the ball 11 metres away. Clutches at his head now. Robson, no look to Mateo. And Mateo, like a ballerina, does a 360. He'll play the ball 2 metres out from the line. Keating for Robson. Robson away for Highmarsh. And Highmarsh decides to have a run. Probably just settling it down. Mortimer, then he goes to Ben Smith, he'll score. Smith, if he gets it down, he got it down. Tony Archer, he points to the spot, and their best forward so far tonight has scored a try, all of his own, Ben Smith.
Always been impressed with this young man. He came into first grade as a centre, but like most centres with a bit of size and bulk about them, they make their way into the back row, and he's now a really accomplished ball running forward. Look at that, really hits the hole nicely, and he's got good footwork. And on the Keno replay, he's just too good for them on that edge.
There's no fluke too, Gus, on the Keno replay. It's 3 tries down this side. You see the Eels really targeting Ben Barber in attack. The number 6 there, you see him laying on the ground. You're getting the big man, Ben Smith, one-on-one. And at the moment, Barber's really struggling. But hasn't he come on, Ben Smith?
He's a good player. You know, the big concern with the Bulldogs tonight, and I spoke to Brad Fittler about it before the game, I thought they played really well last Sunday. They had the game in control against the Roosters, and they were beaten, but they had no possession at the back end of the game, and I thought mentally it would be hard to come up in a short space of time after playing really well, probably the best I've seen them for most of the season, and still being beaten. And people underestimate the difficulty of coming out of a hard Sunday game into a Friday night contest. There's not much turnaround time.
And Luke Burt adds the extras to the Parramatta total that is growing all the time. 28-4 in favour of the Eels. That's why they're smiling like that. And Brad Fittler sideline.
I think after the first 2 tries, the Bulldogs could have sat behind the line and said, we're still in this. You know, there's a bit of brilliance there. But these last couple, I saw a drop ball from Luke Patton, Bryson Goodwin coming on a defender, and then Ben Barber not supporting Benny Hannett on the outside there. Their trust is starting to break down. That's where they're going to get hurt.
The Eels again, 25 away from their own line. Justin Poore with a strong carry. A slowy start to the season for Justin. And maybe he thought that he'd be in that run on side as a starting prop. He's turned the other cheek, comes off the bench, and his form getting better by the week.
It's not easy changing clubs, particularly when you come out of a strong club like the Dragons and head off across town to a rival. It's not easy to settle in.
Here's Hay now, puts a kick in down into the corner, and Patton is back on his own line. And he runs into Jared Hay, who tries to get a shoulder in around the belly button area, but the tackle will be claimed by Ben Smith. This is Bryson Goodwin. 15 metres away from their own line, the Canterbury Bulldogs, with Josh Morris taking it down the left side. Fui and Nathan Kalis back on the bench. The starting props, Ennis was able to outstep the front marker, Matthew Keating. Tackled by Manna. Ball goes to Kamali, and Brett puts a kick down to the try line. Luke Burt bringing it out. One player around him, that's Jared Hayne. And Tamata comes running across, but Hayne is going to dummy half, and he gives it to Robson. Idris makes the tackle. So they've used up a couple. Now Tamata runs hard. 25 away from his own line. Look at that tackle count that the Dogs have been required to make. Played there by Luke Burt. Here's Tim Manor, who suggested with a brief opportunity that he was going to be very much a part of the origin structure in 2011. Luke Patton brings it back and gives it to Steve Turner.
Yeah, I think he'll be there in 2011, and a long time to come. He's a young front row with so much potential.
Just looking at these completion rates too, Rabbits, the most pleasing thing from Parramatta's perspective, they've had 16 opportunities with the ball. Bulldogs got a penalty now. 16 opportunities with the ball and they've completed 15 sets of 6. I dare say if Parramatta come up with those sort of figures against any opposition, they're going to be running up a score, because completion rates and sometimes their laziness with the ball is what gets them into trouble. They turn it over far too often. Tonight, they're just about perfect.
Here's Kamali going to Stagg, and Stagg gets it on to Hodgson. Michael Hodgson playing the ball in the middle of the ground. Friday night, Bundy red football. Andrew Ryan playing the ball just outside the 20-metre line. Now, they scored easily down here before when they had a smell of this part of the ground. Tandy got it away. Patton actually punched the ball to Jamal Idris, and Idris ran it. Daniel Morton. And the kid, as I said earlier, was courageous. Now Kamali is held by Reddy and Mortimer. So the 5th tackle is there for Canterbury now. And Barber puts a little kick in. Parramatta obliged to send it dead. 6 more coming for Canterbury.
Nicely weighted.
Have a look at this on replay.
Yeah, it's a little unfair, isn't it? One of the littlest blokes in the competition up against the biggest human being in the world. Get out of my way. Actually formed a bit of a speed bump there. He didn't give in, Daniel Mortimer, did he? He stood his ground. A tough little fella. I wouldn't like him running up here. Look at that.
The Idris Express. I see one journo writing the game up today, and that's great when they give good publicity to the game. The Hayne train versus the Idris Express. And the Idris Express is still at the platform. Now, Ennis across, and here is the Idris Express. Toot, toot. 15 metres away from the Parramatta line there. The Kamali. He goes across and picks up the second man. Barber to Ryan. Ryan held by Reddy. Ennis goes right side. Kamali and Tandy. I think Kamali wanted that back, and he wanted it back quickly. Just an old chestnut run around. Ennis puts a kick in. Well, he might have been offside, that Canterbury player. It's been called tackle 1 on Parramatta. I thought David Stagg might have been offside, actually. Off that kick from Michael Ennis. This is Reddy. That's the 10-metre line. Down Parramatta's end of the ground. That's Horro with an arm sneaking up. And Jamal comes off. And Parramatta go quickly over to the left side. It's Tahu on Newman. He's around Newman. He's got Turner hanging off him. Through the path. Kamali goes back down the right side. Comes inside Ennis. Comes to Mortimer. And Mortimer makes the tackle. Warburton, Hodgson, Barber, Ryan, Morris, they're going to make it to the corner, are they? Goodwin steps off his left foot, and the try is negated. Goodwin to play the ball. Back to Ryan. Big ball away to Barber. Then he gives it on the inside to Hodgson. Hodgson on the 3rd tackle. In front of the uprights, it's gone to Barber again. Throws a big dummy, gives it to Tandy. It goes forward off him, and it'll come out to the 10 for a Parramatta loose head and feed.
Well, that'll impress Coach Daniel Anderson no end. The error on the far side of the field, and then the defensive line scrambling. It was the commitment of the Parramatta Eels to get back and protect their line. Even with a lead of 24 points, scrambling, getting back off the line quick, hitting hard at the ball, forcing an error. Would be happy, Coach Anderson.
They came into this game as the 3rd best defensive team in the competition, but the 2nd worst attacking side as Jamal goes up the tunnel for some early treatment. Check some injuries, actually. It's a good part of the field to take it on. Brad Fittler.
Boys, for Letty Mateos, He's got a small rib injury. That doesn't seem to be a problem. But Jamal's just got into the sheds. Tony Ayub, their physio, believes he's got a rib cartilage, which we'll see in the next 10 minutes how he's feeling.
And starting to drizzle.
Starting to drizzle.
So you wouldn't like to be giving a 24-point start in these conditions. As Manor takes it up. It's very light rain, but it's making it uncomfortable for the spectators, and of course it's going to make things a little bit greasy out there. Justin Paul plays it on the halfway line, tackle 5, and Jared Hayne reefs it down into the corner, and the bounce is good for Patton. Turner flashing back to be support for his fullback. So Luke Patton plays it to Gary Warburton, then Steve Turner, now Ben Barber. And Barber puts it over the top of Reddy's head and finds Bryson Goodwin. Goodwin then looks for a gap, but there's the siren. That's the end of the first half. A sensational first half of football. Even more sensational the first 10 minutes, with Haynes scoring at minute number 1 and minute number 6, and then he put Inu in at the 10th minute of the game. It was stunning, it was flabbergasting, it was gobsmacking. 28-4. The Eels over the Dogs at half-time. Next in a big Toyota half-time. Phil and Brad will run us through the Bundy smooth moves. And he'll take a look at the Hayne train. I think it's the Hayne plane. His wonderful first half performance. I'll go back through that. Friday Night Football on the home of big time sport, Channel 9.
Protect him and look after him?
Well, I'm scared to bring him off at the moment. I don't really want to send the wrong message to him or the rest of the players. You know, there'll be a moment at the back end of this game, if they've got it well in control, that you can give him a breather and give him a hero's reception on the sideline. But at the moment, just keep them out there steady as she goes.
So Canterbury, first use of the football, second half, and this is Tandy. And they played against one another at their stadium earlier in the year. I think we were collectively disappointed with the crowd. I think it was low 30s. I think they've done better than that tonight. 13 plays 10. The Dogs are 13th and Parramatta at 10. Parramatta a chance to go to 8. Dependent on a couple of other results going their way. This is Tandy, the Melbourne Storm player who was the mid-season transfer to Canterbury. And that's no knock on for Burt. Burt 25 away from his own line. He'll play the ball with Parramatta losing ground as they keep walking him. They keep walking him. Nobody lifted his legs. So the referee just let them keep going. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So here's Horrow now. And Robson. And now Tahu. Wonderful to see him back on the park. I don't think I've ever held back from telling you that I love watching Tamana play. And here's Jared out in the middle of the park up against Andrew Ryan and thinking about passing but opting not to. Ryan takes Haynes aground. To the right side then they go for Daniel Mortimer. And it's landed with Luke Patton. Looking for one more for the century of tries, as I told you. Steve Turner. 35 away from their own line. And that's Newman. Tahu has been a problem for Shane. Here's Tandy. And Manners tackles slipping up a little bit, but Tony Archer in charge of the game. Ben Hannett on the bike. He's got quite a shiner there under the right eye. Yeah, good referees. They see these things and they know that nobody was meaning to get up high or even hurt anybody. Here's Ennis trying to make a hole down the Parramatta right side. Ben Smith is taking a long time to get up. Goodwin, Barber, Kamali kicking inside 30. It's a high kick across the ground. Newman's underneath it, bounces and taken by Robson. who's a real underestimated player. Robson, he's so tidy. He really is.
Yeah, I think Parramatta look a whole lot better as a team with him going back to the halves. He played hooker at the start of the year, but just gives the side more stability. He's a better organiser, a first or second receiver, and he's a cool head.
Justin Poole there in jumper number 17, held by David Stagg. I was going through the people that are leaving Parramatta this season. Tim Manor with the ball, and the one I forgot was Chris Keating. He's on the bench. And you'll see him, no doubt, in the back end of the game. And that one finds the line successfully as Chris keeps himself limbered up, waiting for the call from Daniel Anderson to replace his brother Matthew. Sunday football, Sea Eagles and Tigers. We're going to Gosford on Sunday, up at the beautiful Blue Tongue Stadium. 4 o'clock Sunday, you'll see the replay of the Eagles and the Tigers, and you might remember on Monday Night Football, I think it was, that the Tigers gave them a real big start and ran them down.
Heads in. Heads in. Keep the heads in. Head in, Michael. Ball in.
Tigers and Eagles both up in the top 8. Steve Turner's with the ball. And Ben Smith makes the tackle. Barber's the dummy half. Ryan is over on the left side, but the attackers were far outnumbered by defenders on that side. Played in on the 30-metre line as Ennis goes short for Tandy. His tackle on the 40-metre line. Wrong end of the ground. He got a penalty out of it. He says to Manor and Poor, you're in there too long.
Went down to do the Toyota half-time, and we've got a very heavy shower of rain during the half-time breakdown there. And I feel it'll be pretty slippery here for a while. So it's going to make the Bulldogs' task even more difficult.
Josh Morris making that run, and again it was Daniel Mortimer facing up one-on-one to a much bigger man. They're 15 away, they're 18 away, a juggle for Stagg to go to Kamali, to go back into Luke Patton. It almost went horribly wrong. Play by Patton. Ennis behind Tandy on the Stagg. Now to Barber. And Barber, their attack weapon. He'll play the ball. 12 away from the line. Here's Ennis to the middle of the ground. He might have come behind Kamali. It's gone to Tandy. And Robson cleans him up in a good tackle. It's again with Ennis. A little kick. Oh, Hayne! Well, there was a cluster of players and all of a sudden somebody flies above everything and cleans it up, and his name is Hayne. See? Jumping Jack Flash. Stop it. Stop it. It's starting to hurt. Just watching, it's starting to hurt. Manor. Quite scary, though, how it would seem like he's been in hibernation since the corresponding time last year. It seems that he comes out when the rest of the field have got a big enough start, and then he starts to do what he can do. It's crazy, I know, and that's probably my imagination running away with me again, but there was a period of hibernation. You can't deny that.
I had a racehorse like that once.
Yeah, so did I. It didn't go past the second.
I never woke up. It stayed in hibernation.
Here's Kamali going on to Warburton. The youngster from Griffith, and more recently from Ulladulla. And Steve Turner, talking of Storm players, another one of them there. Tandy, of course, much more recent. Here is Kamali to Patton. And Patton taken in a big bear hug there by Ben Smith and put away. Kamali goes to the left behind Stagg, finds Barber, he kicks, Morris is after it, Haynes underneath it. This will be interesting. It's come backwards off Morris. I think Barber might have got a try unless Haynes has knocked the ball forward onto Morris. Canterbury might well have themselves their second try.
It's a well-placed kick, probably a smidgen too deep. They're just looking at the onside here, no problem there. Nice and high so his man Morris can get underneath it. And Barber doesn't admire his work. He backs up. Here's the challenge in the air. We just talked about how high Hayne can get. Morris knocks it backwards. It's picked up by Benny Barber, who tailed through, and the Bulldogs are on the board. Won't be any problem at all with this, I would imagine. There it is, off his hand, off his shoulder. It all goes backwards. And Benny Barber swoops on it to score the try.
But it's got to be a try.
Oh, it's a try.
He's the player most likely to, Barber.
Well, he kicked it and he put it down, and it's a green light. Canterbury's second try of the night. Barber admits that he couldn't quite work out Kevin Moore's tactics in keeping him out of the game. The run onside for so long. Is Bryson Goodwin, 15 in from touch, on the 20, should convert and does. So Bryson Goodwin has converted the Ben Barber try. We're 9 minutes into the second half, and now the ball game is 18 points.
I love this kick from Barber, a short side kick. Soon the Kuno replay. What happens if you kick from the short side? It brings the opposition winger up. So Chris Ninu has to stay up. That enables Morris to get past him and one-on-one with Jared Hayde. But it's the short side kick to bring the opposition winger up off his wing.
Kick-off time for Parramatta, and Patton gives it to Michael Hodgson to carry the leather out towards the 20-metre line, and then Kamali goes over to Barber, who turns it in for Warburton. 23 metres out from his own line.
31 minutes to go. The difference is 18. I'm not saying it's likely, but it is possible. I mean, a try, if the Bulldogs were to score next and reduce it to 12, it changes the whole complexion of the game. Suddenly, they might be able to get Parramatta a little nervous. I say highly improbable, but you've seen funnier things happen.
Here's Ennis making a clean break. He's inside the 20-metre line. Comes to Hayne, gets it to Morris. Superb effort by Inu. Played by Josh. Spun by Michael. Now from Brett Kamali. Finding Gary Warburton. Now it's gone over to Shane Newman. Newman beat one. Got it back to Warburton. Got it back to Kamali. Comes to the 10. Puts a kick in. Ready, urgent. It'll be a line drop out. Good play, Canterbury.
Well, they should have scored twice in that sequence. It was really unlucky that Ennis had to slow down to pass to Morris, because that takes the impetus off Morris. Look here, Ennis bursts into the backfield. Morris is there, but Ennis sort of shuffles and goes a little bit further, and the pass went slightly behind Morris, which allowed them to catch him. And when the ball filters across to the right here, Newman will head back in field. A couple of offloads. Kamali's got them dead to rights here. They should score. If the kick goes far enough, it's a try. But he doesn't get it far enough into the corner, and Reddy's able to get it back. They bombed it twice.
Get out, Chris.
So Parramatta with the drop out from Inu. And here's Mickey Player thundering back to them. Put down 28 metres away from the Parramatta line. Nathan Kalis is back in for his second serve. And that's Ryan Tandy who'll play the ball. 20 out. Ennis goes across to Kamali, to Ryan. And Andrew is 15 metres away from the Parramatta line. Played and come to Kamali again. Tandy a decoy. Player a decoy. Barber a carry before handing it off to Warburton. And Gary Warburton to play the ball. 7 metres out from the line on the fourth tackle. Ennis to Kamali. He gets out to Patton. Patton then drifting and able to get rid of Mortimer. Comes back, throws a dummy to Player. That takes us through to 5. Ennis dummies to one side. Comes the other. Puts in a little kick. And Tahu gives them another look at it. 6 more coming up for the blue and whites.
Nice play. No panic at the back end of the set of 6 is a good sign too. They're not trying to rush it. You can only build a wall brick by brick. And they're just patiently going about this. They're just one more try. If the Bulldogs could get one more try now and convert it and reduce the margin to 12, different story. Very different story.
Chris Keating has gone on. Matthew Keating has come off. Drop out from Hayne. And Payer it is that returns the ball. And he's dealt with by Kalis.
Not one skerrick of fear in Mickey Payer's body.
Now for Idris. 20 metres out from the Parramatta line. Wouldn't they love it, Canterbury, to see the Idris Express take control here. Tandy will play a 10 away. Only third tackle. Here's Kamali. It's gone across to Newman. He might have knocked on. He's looking and looking for an advantage for Parramatta. And that's what he's found. And here's Hindmarsh reefing it out to Luke Burt. And Burt is tackled on the 20.
Yeah, there's a time to pass and there's a time to dummy and take your knock. And that was one for Kamali to dummy and take his knock. In the greasy conditions, he really gave Newman no chance there.
Played by Horror. Keating, Chris Keating is on, as I said. Nathan Kalis away for Fui Moi Moi, who's also back. I noticed with Chris Keating in that match against Penrith the other night, he didn't mess around from dummy half. He gave quick, clean ball to his playmakers. And it coincided with the Parramatta fight back. Played by Reddy now. They're down inside Canterbury's territory with Hayne drifting across and putting a ball out for Nathan Hindmarsh, who puts it on the stomach of Horror, who gives it to Robson. It's gone to Kalis, and Kalis will play the ball on 5. 35 metres away from the Canterbury line. Keating for Robson. He kicks it down towards Luke Patton. Patton back on his line. Steve Turner. And he's put down 3 metres away from that northern try line. That's Newman. 10 metres out. Put away by Hindmarsh. Bryson Goodwin gets away from Hindmarsh. 22 metres out now from the Canterbury line. Ennis back for Tandy. Tandy to Kamali. Robson it was that cleaned him up.
Robson's made some vital tackles. He's read the play well, come off his left edge, and snuffed out the play on 3 or 4 occasions.
There's a big tackle on Hallertau from the 2 front rowers. Here's the kick, and who's there to clean up? Hindmarsh.
That'll be Nathan Hindmarsh.
You're going to tell me again? Rabbits? That's Hindmarsh.
That's Hindmarsh, number 11.
They all start with H. Now Keating for Hayne, and Hayne for Inu. Probably a silent H with Chrisman. Here's Keating, wrestled down by Barber.
I like Keating as a player, and I've always liked the thought of him playing out a dummy half, coming off the bench. I think that's his real impact position for this Parramatta side.
That was about as sloppy as it gets from Parramatta, right there.
Well, they can do this. They can do this, Parramatta. They can look brilliant 1 minute and then just stop to a walk the next.
Nathan Kalis kicked that.
Yeah. This is...
Nathan Kalis kicked that.
He did. I know it's hard to be grim when the scoreline's heavily in your favour, but you've got to think... You've got to think about the opposition scoring a try and suddenly the margin is 12, and you've really got to keep fighting and keep your attention to detail up. And this is what Parramatta can do. They can really go to sleep on you.
Right knee, just above the right knee, a problem for Justin Poore. As Michael Ennis makes another dummy half dart. He's really kept them guessing again tonight, Michael.
I've liked his game tonight. I liked his game last Sunday too. I think there's some real traits to his dummy half work that shows great improvement. I think the Origin experience has done him a world of good.
Kamali to the line, passing at the line. Patton away to Idris, and Idris tries to go through. Tahu hangs on, so do 2 others, Mark Horrow and Jeff Robson. Played back to Luke Patton on the 30-metre line. Kamali puts a kick in high. Hayne is going urgently. Inu is there. Hayne put the ball down. Canterbury have got a chance here. 6 more tackles ordered by Badger.
Beautifully placed bomb.
Play by Morris. They're short on the left and needed a long ball from Ryan. But Ryan beats them with sheer strength. Badger wants to have a look at it.
This will be tackle one.
Oh, it's so hard to score a try these days. He looks certain to score twice, and somehow Parramatta have got under him, I think, both times. That is not the face of a man who has got a touchdown. He looks certain to score, and then he dives in there. Who gets underneath him here?
Hayne, probably.
Jared Hayne. He scores him, he sets him up, he saves him. Jared Hayne. Let's have a look. Can we see ball on turf? Hand under ball, another hand under ball, boot under ball. Can't tell from that vision. Andrew Ryan didn't look like a bloke who had pocket aces when he stood up.
I can see ball on ground there.
Can you?
I think it was a ball.
Well, you're looking at the TV screen through your binoculars if you can see that.
I think that shot we're talking about there.
Can you see?
Was it put down on leg? I thought that previous shot indicated the football found the turf.
Point to it, Rabbits. Show me. Where?
There. There.
Ah, you're right.
There.
You're right.
Open your eyes. It's there.
No wonder you're the master.
And stop knocking my binoculars.
You're the master.
So it is a try for Andrew Ryan. The captain from Dubbo has scored. Plays 40. 57 minutes gone. He captained Canterbury in their 2004 grand final win when Stephen Price was injured. He played with Parramatta in 2001 in a beaten Parramatta side, beaten by Newcastle. He knows, well, I don't think anybody would know much better than Andrew Ryan what this season means to people like Nathan Kalis, particularly, who retires at the end of the year. He was there in 01 with the Eels. Then he went on to win a grand final 3 years later, Andrew Ryan. Bryson Goodwin converts. So there's the 6 you were talking about.
Yeah, good boy. That wasn't an easy kick under the pressure of the situation. They know they've got to go up in sixes. Now look at the difference. There's 22 minutes to go. And now the margin is 12. There was the perfectly placed bomb. The perfectly placed bomb brings winger, fullback and retreaters together so they get in each other's way. And on the next play of the ball, the skipper's able to muscle his way into the in goal. The margin is now 12. Now, if the Bulldogs in the next 15 minutes can be the next to score 6, we get a grandstand finish. Rabbits.
Tandy. Now Ryan. These conditions, they've turned for the better for people like Brett Kamali. 2 tries for Canterbury, both off the high ball. Along the ground, Ennis is dangerous with the kick. It's made for the high ball. It's made for the grubber. Here's Ennis and Kamali combining and picking up Patton in the middle of the ground. Holds the defence away. Gets it back to Kamali. Kamali drifts across to the left side of the ground. Ball to be played 30 metres out on 5. Ryan scoops it away to Ennis, and Ennis puts the kick in again. Why wouldn't they? Luke Burt, gee, makes things look easy, doesn't he, Luke Burt? Here's Jared Hayne now. Comes to Michael Ennis, and he's wrapped up and put away.
Well, Parramatta fans better fasten their seatbelts. The flight's not over yet.
Here's Mark Horrow. Noddy Kamali went in. He might have gone in a bit awkwardly. He got up, shook his head. Here's Nathan Kalis.
Look at this. The energy's all with the Dogs. The crowd's into the match now.
Keating to Hindmarsh, and Hindmarsh runs it straight at Hallertau. Formerly from the Tigers. And now for Moy, and he went through Ennis and he came to Barber. So 5 gone for the Eels. Chris Keating kicking out of dummy half. Ball going down towards dead ball. And it does at the northern end.
Joey, what do you do in a game where you've had a big lead and suddenly the opposition gets momentum? It's very hard to kick back into gear, isn't it?
Well, The area where the Eels are struggling at the moment is around the ruck. They're struggling to contain the Dogs' go forward, playing the ball way too fast, and that's bringing Michael Ennis into the play. But at the moment, all the momentum, everything's going the Dogs' way. But the ruck spirit of the Dogs blowing the Eels away. He goes Tandy again.
What are you thinking, Parramatta? When do you start thinking field goal to try and nullify this momentum?
Yeah, well, if you get down there, I'd get one now. But it's easy to get earlier than
Here's Bryson Goodwin down that side, ready across with Mortimer in cover. Forward pass has been fouled.
They call forward, and this one does float forward. Whether it went backwards out of the hands, we're pretty much in line with it here. You see from the high one here, it was a risky play, but a bit of a chance. Benny Barber gets it, and he pretty much let it go forward out of the hands, I thought, and it kept going forward.
TAB Sportsbet update on the odds. $25,000 on the Eels at $1.06 and $50,000 on the Eels at $1.14. So those two punters, mind you, they must have plenty to put that sort of money on, but they might be just trembling a little bit, palpitating. Those sweats, you know, those cold sweats you get.
Yeah.
I got one now.
So Mateo is coming back into the game with an injury. Horro did well, got round, got through, ducked under. Mark Horro.
Good run.
Justin Horro.
Justin Horro, you're quite right.
I say, Mark Horro's found the fountain of youth.
Well,
oh, what's this?
here's a penalty going to Parramatta. So would they take the two? You would think so.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What's this? One of these stripping penalties, is it? You can't imagine anyone would deliberately try to strip the ball in front of their posts in this position. Let's have a look. Fui goes in. They tackle the ball. They're in their bump. And the ball just comes loose. Now, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. No. Gee, that's not a penalty. And they've got to understand how crucial this point of the game is. He's just lost that cold, Fui. He's lost the slippery ball cold. And this is an unbelievably important penalty because it extends it from 12 to 14. Luke Burke won't miss. Rabbits, I hate that. That's not a penalty.
Well, the pictures confirm what we're saying. But, you know, you come back to what I believe. I think if you play first-grade football, anything for this, if you let it go in a two-man tackle, it should be okay. 3 in the tackle, I'll go along with the strip because that's how it started. It started at the origin level.
Yeah, but it's 2.
Burt's picked up the 2.
Yeah, but it's 2.
It's more than 2, isn't it? It's got them out to 14.
Yeah, and it's too vital at this stage of the game.
I understand what you're saying.
No Bulldog player would have deliberately stripped that ball in that position. They know how vital it is not to be conceding penalties in front of the post.
What I'm trying to say
they're too quick on the trigger finger.
If you can steal in a one-man tackle, I think you should be able to do it in a two-man tackle. That's all I'm saying to you. It will reduce the amount of discretion and decisions that referees have to make. The only time then they get involved is in the three-man tackle. That's all I'm saying to you. You can't simplify it anymore. Kalish. Remember the Origin players? They'd hold him up like a rotary clothesline. Little Alfie had come in. 3 in the tackle. That's where it started. So these Kenichi straps out there again tonight. Suspenders. Kenichiwa. This is Turner. Stagg.
Still a bad penalty.
Get over it. I know it's tough, but get over it. Goodwin. 32 metres out. Ennis having a look. Mickey Payer goes with him. Payer's 5 metres from the halfway line. Ennis again for Kamali. And now to Patton. It's part of the network. It's very much the network. 9-7-1. Now Barber. There's the other member of the network. And there's another forward pass. Well, he's become a real fly in the ointment, hasn't he, Gavin Badger?
tonight's merchandise loyalty winner, the merchandise loyalty club.
Hard to argue.
Congratulations to you, John, and
well, on that camera, it seemed to leave the hands okay. Moi will play the ball. 30-16 is the score. Parramatta by 14. Holding down an enormous lead at halftime. 28-4. Played by Horror. Justin Horror. It's Fui driving with the legs.
All these Parramatta players has got to give Jared Hayne a tug on the jersey and say, have you got anything left? Is there anything there?
Well, here he is now. He's found Moi. And Moi is 18 metres away. And Hayne stays alive. He's pushed Mortimer out from first to second. He goes to first now. And he drifts across and gives it to Mortimer. Mortimer gives it to Tahu. He puts it on the boot. Comes down to Luke Patton. And Luke Patton, just for a moment, I thought he might have been on a 95-metre run for his 100th try.
Yeah, and he showed good experience there. He knew in the slippery conditions if he tried it. Oh!
Mickey Player and Fui Moi.
Yeah, I told you about Mickey Player. He hasn't got one skerrick of fear in his body. And watch the momentum of the ball after the collision. We'll have a look at it in a moment. He got belted and then stood his ground and kept marching. Watch this. Boom. And he fights him, and now he starts to move the ball forward. There's not one skerrick of fear in that boy's body. Geez, a goer.
Hallitart was who played that ball. Kamali went in looking for a gap up the middle for Hannon. And Ben Hannon plays it back for Michael Ennis. Then for Brett Kamali. He kicks across for his winger. He finds Steve Turner. Turner goes into Indra. He speculates to Stagg. Stagg will score. David Stagg's try in the corner.
Last tackle.
Or has he?
First check the onside. Check if he gets the ball down here, mate.
He's worried about the put down. He's worried about the onside. But I think Stagg's okay.
Well, it's brilliant footy and deserving of a try. Brilliant footy. The lovely kick across field. He's onside. No problem. Now, what's he doing out here? That's Turner there. Inside to Idris. Brilliant ball back on the outside. Stagg pins his ears back. Here comes the man of the hour, Jared Hayne. Picks him up, rolls him over. He might have saved another one. He might have saved another one. Look out. Look out. Look out.
He's got the cuddle on him.
Look out. Look out. He's out.
That will do. Linesmen and ball boys, thank you.
Well, I have now seen everything. He was going to score for sure and certain. And the man of the hour, the man of the month, the man of the year maybe, Jared Hayne nonchalantly gets across and says, I've got this.
But how many times has he done it tonight?
Oh, it's just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Jared Hayne.
Can you believe that?
It started at the first minute.
I can't remember. David Stagg even had the ball in the right arm, didn't he? I mean, it wasn't easy for Hayne to get to him. Or did I see it wrongly?
For Parramatta, he scored 2. He's delivered the final ball once. How many has he saved? Yes, it was in the right arm.
Oh.
And he saves another try with a desperate tackle.
That's brilliant. Gee whiz.
Robson across the ground and then stepping off his right foot. Mortimer goes across to Mateo and he's found Reddy out wide, and Reddy taken down by the defence 45 metres away from the Canterbury lines. Mateo again. Mortimer finding Hayne, puts a kick in. Ben Hannon gave him a little push in the belly. And, oh, don't tell me.
Come on, Gus.
Well, there's a penalty. There's a penalty going to Parramatta. This was innocuous. I'm sure it's the Hannon tackle on Hayne. Here's the kick.
Oh, please. 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 Who's making these rules up? I feel sorry for the referees because they're obviously under instruction here. I'm sure if you put the blowtorch on Tony Archer's belly and said, do you honestly want to blow a penalty for that? I'm sure he would say no, but I'm sure they're under instruction. That is disgraceful. That is really disgraceful.
Tonight's official attendance, there it is on our big screens here at ANZ Stadium. Thank you.
Gee, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Come back, boys.
Fans come to watch footy. They don't come to watch referees doing it.
Thanks to all the Parramatta fans and Canterbury fans for joining us.
Explain it to him. I've made the call. Mickey.
Gee, that spoils a good night,
Ben.
Rabbits. Players are doing everything to get people in the ground, and referees are driving them out the exit gates.
Well, it's not the referees.
Well, it's the bloke who coaches the referees.
Well, no,
they're under instruction.
No, hang on. Don't go down that alleyway again. It's the bloke that writes the rules.
Where do we find him?
It could be long gone. I don't know. Here's Burt. And 34,662 have seen the Eels now go out to a lead of 32-16. 32-16, and their last 4 points have come from, as I just said a minute ago, an innocuous situation out there where referees are basically enforcing what the rule book says.
Well, you tell me that moment there could decide a premiership. I mean, it's 12 all in a grand final. You're going to blow the penalty then?
Not
and if you can't blow it then, you can't blow it now or at any other time.
Not arguing that point whatsoever. He was a senior referee on that occasion. He knew what had happened is against the rules of the game.
I'm not blaming him.
Okay, I'm not blaming. There's Tahu. Played to Keating. Hindmarsh, Robson, Manor. Don't let it spoil your night, big fella. Don't let it spoil your night. It's been a memorable night. Mateo, his ball goes to ground. Half volley pick up by Reddy, whose head and neck are in awkward positions. Goodwin puts him away. And 6 more tackles has been called. Here's Nathan Kalis putting his shoulder to the wheel. Chris Keating across to Mortimer. Mortimer goes then to Manor. Doesn't look like, yes it is, it's Tim Manor. Now Chris Keating. Here's Jared Hayne. Hayne taken down by 3 of the defenders from Canterbury. Tandy's, he's been good for Canterbury since he came to the club. He's a big strong thing. Robson taken by Kamali. He's strong. So Nathan Kalis looks inside for Nathan Hindmarsh, and he puts the ball down. Knock on. Grabbed by Tandy for Canterbury. There's 8 minutes of this game to go, and it's the Eels 32. The Bulldogs 16. Kamali taken by Manor and driven with the help of Kalis and Hindmarsh.
Well, the brilliant first 40 minutes by Parramatta has been nowhere near replicated in the second 40. All those brilliant tries, they open the game, and they haven't crossed the stripe in the second half. Their only points are 2 penalty goals.
Here's Barber taken by Mortimer. 33 metres away from Canterbury's line to Kamali, and he goes back and picks up Andrew Ryan. Ryan in the middle of the ground. Attracts the attention there of Tim Manor. Here's Ennis again. Every time he handles the football, he's asking a question, bending the line. Barber now. Barber double pumps it before he's taken to ground by Horrow and Robson, and it's turnover time. So here's Burt. Ten metres their side of halfway.
All right, let's have a look at the Bulldogs now. It's pretty sure they can't win this one. But over the next 6 weeks, 7 weeks, they play with the Rabbitohs, the Knights, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Panthers and the Sea Eagles. Not easy, but not such a bad run at all. They'll have to win all those. They're now hanging on by a fingernail to the tightrope. The feet are gone, their hands are gone, the fingernail's the only thing keeping them awake. But I guess if they can go through undefeated between now and the end of the season, there's still a hope. Rabbitohs next week at home, the Knights away, the Raiders at home, the Cowboys away, the Panthers at home, the Sea Eagles away.
Patton. Eventually put down by Chris Keating and Tim Manor. Played by Luke. Idris puts a fend on Manor, who goes back into the tackle, and with Hindmarsh's help they put him down. Now for Bryson Goodwin.
Parramatta's got some quality games coming up, haven't they? They've got the Roosters at home, the Titans away, the Broncos away, the Tigers at home, the Rabbitohs away, and the Warriors at home. Well, they're all quality games coming up for them. Look at that. Roosters at home, Titans away, Broncos away. They do the Queensland double. Tigers at home, Rabbitohs at home, the Sydney Derbies, and then the Warriors at home to finish it off.
Well, surely next week, when they play the Roosters at home, it'll be a full house.
It's Kamali. Hayne, quick look over the shoulder, knowing that he was going to have to play at the ball, and he gets it back into the field of play. Joel Reddy runs it away. No game in ground, just taking it infield away from that eastern side of the ground. Horro using Inu. Krishnan, who got tries at the 10th and 25th minute. 2 for him, 2 for Jared at the 1st and the 6th minute. Wow. Tandy it was. He took Manor, ball and all, but he told them to play on. And here's Robson. I thought the tackle by Tandy was enough to represent a tackle. And here's Luke Burt going down the side. His feet actually tripped Tamana Tahu. Robson short. Mortimer kicks for himself. He's after the little fella. Got the ball back. Loses it in the tackle of Michael Ennis. No advantage, Bulldogs. And they'll change it over.
He's been strong tonight, Daniel Mortimer. A little chip and chase here. Regathered, tried to throw the ball over his head. This year he lacked confidence, lost a bit of form, but he's stuck at it. He's a terror. You've spoken about that.
He looks far more comfortable, Joey, without the attention on him, doesn't he? Like, if he's the one having to be the playmaker, he looks a little awkward and lacking in confidence, but since they've taken him out of that role and he just eager beavers around, he's far more at home.
Well, Gus, he's got the number 7 on his back, but he plays more like a second receiver. Jeff Robson's there, the cool head. He does the organising. He steadies the ship. Daniel Mortimer, he just gets out there and supports him. He's a little terrier. He's got the heart of a lion.
Josh Morris pushing away Matthew Keating before lofting the ball to David Stagg, and Stagg is met by Robson. So the Bandaged Bear Cup will be won by Parramatta. Zenas puts it behind Hannett. It goes straight through the legs of Hallertau. It came off the boot of Barber. It's taken by Morris. The referee says play on. Goodwin is with the ball. Comes back into Ryan. Went forward off him. Now it's come to Hayne. Hayne will go to ground 10 metres out from his own line.
You see what Benny Barber did then? It looked like a soccer pass out to the left wing. Just looked like a midfielder squaring the ball up to his man out on the sideline. Quite extraordinary. What's this? Ball on the ground. He just passes it out to his winger. Very clever.
Mortimer then finding the line over on the eastern side. Tony Archer saying to Fui, Mortimer, stay behind the kicker. Fui looked at him and said, I am behind the kicker. Here is Fui now. And he takes it about 9 metres up into Canterbury's territory. And Ben Barber has put his head in an awkward position. Tim Manor is with the ball. 1 3/4 minutes of this game to go. One of the most memorable individual performances you'll ever see. Play by Horro. Robson short, Keating with it. Chris Bounces off his left foot. Thinks he sees a gap in between Michael Ennis and Dean Hallertau. It closes. Matthew Keating, Jeff Robson. He kicks for Tamana Tahu and Luke Bird. And made to go dead by Luke Patton, I fancy. We'll just have time for a restart.
Yeah, I think the players would like to Bundy off and go home. No one really keen to do anything here. That man, Jared Hayne, haven't taken the votes yet, but it'll be hard to beat for man of the match, you'd think. Scintillating opening package from him, and his really only contribution in the second half was to save a couple of tries.
Idris then with this high kick, not with a lot of distance about it. Hayne, he might have bundied off himself, stood there and nonchalantly gave the ball to Moi Moi. Here's Mateo linking up with Reddy, who flops the ball back for Chris Keating. He's away from Ben Barber, finds Fui Fui, runs into Hannant and David Stagg. Chris Keating for Mortimer. Mortimer goes back. He's found Hayne. Hayne puts a little kick in. He's looking for Luke Bird. He finds the sideline instead, and that will be it. Stumps. And Canterbury going down to the Eels, 32-16. Their run to the top 8 now made increasingly more difficult. Well, those two had a great confrontation at the start of the year, didn't they? Tahu and Idris. It didn't eventuate on the same scale tonight, however. Well, Jared Hayne, in the first half particularly, it was just an incredible individual rugby league or sporting performance. In fact, it made me think about the Olympic motto, Citius, Altius, Fortius. Stronger, faster, higher. And he represents pretty much all of those qualities. Well, coming up, we'll have a long discussion, or should I say we'll be having a discussion, and we'll work out the Channel 9 $1,000 man of the match. Whoever wrote that obviously wrote this before the game started, much before the game started. And then it's time for the other crucial Friday night game. It'll be the Dragons up against the Titans. Next on 9's Wide World of Sport. That's all for you to come.